So when I call to schedule a parent-teacher conference, I want to go ahead and ask the parent what her preference is, or his preference, whether they want the conference to be held in English or in Spanish, to better understand the material that's going to be presented. I also want to go ahead and make sure that I bring student samples and a progress report, so that way they know where their child is at for the moment. So we'll go ahead and start the conference. Hello, Mrs. Flores. Welcome. Thank you so much for taking your time out to come meet with me today. I wanted to go over a couple of information so that way we're on the same page, you know what we're doing here at school, and then I'll also provide you with some tips and tricks to do at home to kind of help your daughter's learning continue at home. So the first thing I wanted to make sure to address is she's in the 7th grade. She's currently 13 years old. She is classified right now as a LY. It's a code that we use here at school, but it basically means that we put her in classes to make sure that they address their specific English learner needs. So she's an English learner. She's trying to better her vocabulary, her reading comprehension. So we've put her in all of the classes that are designed to do specifically that. So that's great. Another thing is she meets the free reduced lunch criteria, and that's just based off of household income. I wanted to meet with you today to discuss her scores as far as her FSA goes. That's a state test. For reading, she's currently at a level 1. And then for math, she's currently at a level 2. And what that really means is for level 1 reading, based off of her score, she's currently reading at a 5th grade level 1. And then that means that we're obviously going to provide her with the support that she needs, which is why we're meeting today. And then we'll also go ahead and give you some tips to use at home to make sure that she can continue to grow in that area. As far as math goes, she's currently at a level 2. That still means that we want to support her because we want to make sure that she gets into the category of a level 3 by the end of this year. So I'll go ahead and review everything that we're going to do to help her get there. As far as the data that we've collected, I want to make sure to simplify all of this for you so that way it's not confusing. As far as the data goes, what I've identified is that she needs help when it comes to vocabulary knowledge and reading comprehension. And then also something that we call syntax is basically the way that you word a sentence, the order. So those are 3 areas that we want to really focus on this year to make sure that we get her back on track towards completing the goals that we have for her. So as far as from my end, what we're going to do in the classroom is we want to make sure to give her an extended amount of time on her assignments. That's also going to fall into her testing and standardized tests. So any tests I give in class, I'll give her an extended amount of time. Also, when she's testing for the FSA, she'll also have an extended amount of time. I'll also be using Spanish English dictionaries that she can use in class, as well as when she's testing. I'll also be providing her with simplified instructions in a language that, in a way where everything is simplified for her. She also can reach out to me while she's in class for clarification. Obviously, she can't do that when she's testing for the FSA. But all 3 of those will be provided in class as well as when she takes her standardized tests. The other thing that we're going to be doing in class is I want to make sure to review I want to make sure that she is able to make predictions before we start reading a passage, or maybe I'll show her a picture and ask her to make a prediction as to what's going to happen next. She'll have to give me her answer by letting me know versus writing it down. She'll just have to respond, by telling me. And that's to work on her ability to comprehend what's going to be presented to her. What I'll also do is I'll ask her questions while she's reading a passage to really make her stop and think about what she's reading. And then at the end, I'll have her summarize the entire thing so that way we are both on the same page and we both understand that she's grasping the concept of what the passage was meant to provide for her, basically the purpose. As far as her vocabulary, I would like you, while you're at home, to try to motivate her, encourage her to read on her own, because if she reads at home at least 30 minutes per day, it will definitely increase her exposure to the vocabulary that she's going to see in the classroom as well. So that will help out. What I'm going to do on my end is I'll go ahead and provide her with visuals So everything in my classroom is going to be labeled in English and also in Spanish. She'll see the word in English, she'll see the word in Spanish. If she has any questions, she's welcome to go ahead and reach out to me. And then I'll also be putting her in small groups, so that way I can cater to her specific level. She'll be surrounded with kids that are also, you know, aiming for the same level, so that way I can meet her needs a bit better. Okay, sounds good?
Yes.
Do you have any questions so far?
No, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. As far as the manipulatives, when it comes to math, we want to make sure that we give her something that she can physically see, touch, just so that way she can learn to grasp the math concepts and the information that's covered in math class a bit better. Again, giving her that visual for her. And then we'll also go ahead and provide word banks in math and in reading, just to assist her with definitions. As far as any type of tests that are going to be done in class, I'll give her 2 types of tests. One of them is going to be kind of like an end of the year, summarizing everything that we've learned. I'll try to give her oral tests to make it easier for her, as well as, you know, trying to practice speaking in English. And then as far as other types of assessments, I'll give her things like what I call exit out the door or ticket out the door. It's basically a sentence, a question that I would ask her and she has to respond back. It'll kind of let me know if she's doing better in that concept that we covered in class that day. Okay, so that's everything that I'm going to do on my end. Do you have any questions today?
No, ma'am.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time. What we'll go ahead and do is we'll meet